Listener discretion is advised.
The Donald J. Trump Foundation.
Thank God.
Oh, God.
Was established in New York in 1988 by none other than Donald J. Trump himself.
Oh,
Jesus
do you hear that?
Christ.
That's the sound of 2 listeners who aren't going to listen to our show anymore.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's our show. It's free to listen. It's free to not listen. Okay, so the stated purpose of the Trump Foundation was to collect the proceeds from sales of Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, and distribute them to charitable causes. The foundation was registered as a tax-exempt nonprofit, making donations to it tax deductible. Even from the original stated purpose of the foundation, though, its intent is obvious: to allow Trump to avoid personal income taxes by reclassifying income as tax-exempt donations.
Yikes.
Do we have his fucking returns yet?
We have very old returns, I think. Don't we have old returns?
I don't know.
I
I-
can't remember.
I
he's
stopped
still
He did
paying
so much
fighting
attention.
this.
shit that
I'm
I
gonna-
get
yeah.
bogged down in the amount of shit.
He's still fighting against releasing something along these lines. Like, dude, you just, I
Yep.
can't. I
Yeah,
just
the
wish he would just
foundation
go
stuff-
away.
The foundation stuff is pretty much all out there, and we will get to it. So the Trump Foundation did not start or maintain any charitable giving programs of its own, but it was designed to give money to other tax-exempt charitable organizations. And that is actually standard practice for a lot of private family foundations. They don't actually run any of the programming themselves. They don't even necessarily choose just like one cause they want to support. The family typically puts in a bunch of money to the foundation, and then that money trickles out to other existing nonprofits through grants.
Sure.
That's normal. Where things get shady, although completely unsurprising for the Trumps, is the details of how this organization was run and how the money was distributed or not. For starters, the Trump Foundation, so the nonprofit,
Right.
was based out of the offices of the Trump Organization, the for-profit business arm of the Trump empire.
So that already feels fishy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
But revealingly, it had no dedicated office space and no staff.
Oh. Okay.
So it's
Curious.
just a bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
And that wasn't the only red flag. The foundation's status as a, quote, charity was comical from the beginning. For example, in 1989, it reported a $7 charitable contribution to the Boy Scouts of America.
$7.
$7.
7.0?
Seven.
Yes.
$7.
You got that.
Jesus Christ.
You got it right.
And as it turns out, this wasn't even a donation. It was the registration fee for then 11-year-old Donald Trump Jr. to join the Boy Scouts.
Not a donation.
not a donation. It's a registration fee. And also, why is the foundation paying for your son to join the Scouts? That is how fucking cheap and corrupt this man is.
Yikes.
He took $7 out of a
So
charity
fucking petty.
to pay for his son's Boy Scout fee.
Not that any of this is related, but maybe that's why the contribution to the synagogue was not tax
'Cause
deductible.
it's a
Maybe it's like a
fee?
registration fee.
Yeah, it
Maybe
could
that's
be.
how they're classifying it.
Right. But
And maybe that's
seems
how your
like a-
tax
but
robot
it
saw
would-
it. But if you had a tax person who could be like, I'm overriding this
Right.
or whatever, I don't know.
I don't
Because
know.
there's no
maybe?
reason behind that, because
No.
it being tax exempt would benefit Kenyon and the synagogue.
Of
so
course,
it's just
of
like,
course.
it was just miscategorized somehow.
I'll
Just a
live.
thought, maybe.
Yeah, it's possible. But paying for your son's,
No. It's not,
Boy
like I'm
Scouts.
saying, they are
Yeah.
not the same. It
Yeah.
just made me think, oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's the
'cause
tax
it's right
thing.
thing. So this ridiculous early donation was an indicator of how the foundation would function for years as a personal slush fund for Donald Trump, which he treated as if it was interchangeable with any of the other funds that he had access to. Mm-hmm. Like Lucy said, just another bank account.
He's so arrogant.
In fact, for decades, Donald Trump himself was the sole person dictating how the foundation's money would be spent. For context, most foundations have an elected board of directors who have procedures and rules.
Oversight.
And ways of determining how money should be raised and how it should be spent. Nope, not just one dude.
Jesus Christ.
Eventually, his 3 adult children, Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, would be listed. We always forget Tiffany. I love
My adult son.
would be listed.
Tiffany. So sad.
She's fine.
She's fine. She's complicit. Would be listed as the board of directors of the Trump Foundation, along with the Trump organizations, the business wings, now disgraced CFO Alan Weisselberg, who just reported a bunch of shit on Trump.
Yeah,
and
he fucking flipped.
He fucking flipped, and it's amazing. And Alan Weisselberg, one of the things that he got caught doing was similar to how the fucking Trump Foundation was doing things.
Right.
Which is, instead of having things in his compensation package count as income, he was just having them count as like business expenses.
Sure.
So instead of, like, say his apartment cost $1 million a year, instead of being paid $1 million a year so then he could pay his mortgage, he had the company pay his mortgage
and then write it off as a business expense.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
But he did that with,
can we just do that?
Wouldn't that be great?
Please.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an option.
Right. He did
Funny
that
how
with
our CPA never said we could do that.
Yeah. Right.
Funny how
Kenyon's
we haven't been
mom.
audited or sued for tax misuse of company
Yeah.
funds.
Be great. He did that for his grandkids' school fees. I don't know why your grandchildren's school tuition is a business expense.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were wealthy? Then we wouldn't have to pay so much. Never
Would be
ever have
nice.
to pay our taxes.
Yeah. All right. So Alan Weisselberg and the 3 adult kids are on the board of directors, supposedly,
Amazing.
of this foundation that has no office space and no staff.
Great.
And until his presidential run brought heightened scrutiny to his finances, the Trump Foundation continued to operate as an arm of the Trump organization, the business, with seemingly very little outside scrutiny. It continued.
Nobody just mentioned it.
Nobody looked at it, thought about it, mentioned it, just kept plugging along. From 1988 until 2016.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
It continued to collect royalties from Trump's ghostwritten bestseller, The Art of the Deal. But it also ghostwritten. Ow, that hurt. That's why I don't do that, because that hurts. But it also solicited donations from outside donors, mostly people that had some connection or business interests with the Trump business. Between its founding and 2015, Trump's earnings contributed $5.5 million to the charity. So, technically, Trump put in $5.5 million into the foundation fund.
The foundation that was already a scam built to get him huge tax write-offs and misappropriate money.
Well, then he didn't have to pay taxes on that
Right.
$5.5 million.
Exactly.
Right. While donations from third parties contributed nearly twice that sum, approximately $9.3 million. And according to philanthropy experts, that's really unusual to have a private family foundation getting more money from outside donors than is being put in itself. The point of a family foundation is that it's a high net worth family and they want to do good, so they're taking some of their own money and they are doing good with it.
Yeah, setting it
They're
aside
not-
for social causes.
It also kind of
Soliciting more and more donations from the outside and then sitting on it.
Right.
It's also not clear probably because this plan didn't exist, but like what charities it's actually donating to. So why the fuck would any random citizen be like, I'm going to donate to the Trump Foundation?
To
Right.
curry
I
favor.
don't really know where any of this money is actually going.
It wasn't random citizens before he became like a presidential candidate. It wasn't
That's
just
what I'm
random
saying.
people. Yeah,
That
it
wasn't
was
random people because,
No.
and that figure, 9.3 million, is a little fishy.
It was people trying to curry favor with Donald Trump. Some of those people, are probably just, rich fucking yahoos that thought that they were doing good.
Right.
And were lazy about it and wanted to go to some party at Mar-a-Lago that happened to be a fundraiser. You know what I mean?
I could see it.
Which is fine, whatever. But once he became a presidential candidate, trying to curry favor is more problematic. So the amount of money from outsiders becomes even more suspicious when you look into who these people actually were that were giving this, totaled 9.3 million. So between the years 2004 and 2014, the top donors to the Trump Foundation were either Vince and Linda McMahon of World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE.
He is a trip.
Yeah, and we've talked about how he's literal garbage.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he's garbage.
Or WWE itself. And there's some dispute about this because the Trump Foundation listed the donations as being from WWE, but then WWE denied involvement and claimed that the money had come from Vince and Linda McMahon personally. And that is because the Trump Foundation had no fucking staff, so they're just cobbling together their records and being like, oh, where did them? Oh, yeah, I think WWE. And it fucking matters if it came from the company or if it
Or
came
the
from
individual.
the people.
Yeah.
They're very different things.
Yeah. So these donations to the Trump Foundation coincide with Trump's participation in WrestleMania in 2007 and 2009.
Weird. That's such a weird coincidence.
Making them seemingly not so much charitable donations as appearance fees.
Oh, my Lord.
Which should be categorized as income. So is he hiding appearance fees behind the organization so he doesn't have to pay income tax?
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly what
Yep.
he's doing.
All right. Well, I know things.
Don't you feel smart?
Nailed it. I know our ex-president is a criminal.
And this fits a pattern for Trump of asking for donations instead of payment for services. In 2005, the Norwegian cruise lines, we've got fucking WWE, we got fucking cruises. He is
Ish, y'all.
it's just disgusting bingo.
Both douchey, honestly.
Seriously.
So Norwegian Cruise Line donated $100,000 in lieu of an appearance fee for Melania Trump.
Ugh.
How was she pulling in $100,000 for an appearance fee in 2005?
Yeah, she wasn't even
I
the first
do
lady.
not know.
I guess what's it called? The show that he had.
Oh, The Apprentice,
Yeah.
maybe?
Was she on that show?
I have no idea.
No,
I never
don't
watched
know.
it.
I never watched it. I don't know. In 2006, People magazine gave $150,000 to the Trump Foundation after receiving the exclusive rights to publish photos of baby Barron.
Ugh.
God.
And in 2011,
Barron bears it all.
I'm not making fun of his
headlines write
child.
themselves. I
I'm
am.
not making fun of his child.
I am.
What? Where would your head have to be to name a child that just came out of your own uterus Barron?
Well, Robber was a little bit too on the nose, so they went with Barron instead.
No, I
Do you
think
guys
it's funny,
not remember-
like a barren womb.
Right.
She wishes she was barren.
Do you guys not remember that Trump's alter ego when he talked to the press was Barron something?
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
I
then
do
he named his
remember
son
that.
Barron.
Wow.
He had a fake person. He would catfish members of the media and be like, I don't know. I just think this Trump guy is incredible, and he's a billionaire, and he's really great, and he's just unbelievable.
I hear
And-
his hands are enormous and even bigger than his penis, his painting.
My name is Barron.
Von Trapp.
Baron von Trapp.
He doesn't even cover his tracks. It's one thing that he does these things, but just to have the audacity to not even fucking bother to cover your tracks
Doesn't even. Well, I don't even know if it's audacity. It's like overconfidence and confirmation bias because he's just gotten away with this bullshit for so long. So of
whatever
course
you
he's
want
gonna
to
do
call
that.
it, it's
But
a bunch of horse shit.
It is a bunch of horseshit. I agree. Right.
Yeah. The balls.
And in 2011, Comedy Central donated $400,000 after Trump appeared at a televised roast of himself. So this may all sound altruistic. No, don't pay me. Just donate to my charity. Aren't I a generous guy? But like we said, in reality, Trump and his family were able to collect tax-free money that would have otherwise been considered taxable income while still having that money in a slush fund that they could use on almost whatever they wanted. Yeah. It wasn't until Trump was running for president in 2016 that further digging was done into the activities of the foundation and the full extent of its corruption became public knowledge. In 2016, a reporter for the Washington Post named David Farenthold began looking into the Trump Foundation and Trump's repeated claims that he had a long history of charitable giving.
Okay.
One of the biggest bombshells of Farenthold's reporting, which he would eventually win a Pulitzer Prize for, and you have got to listen to the podcast Trump Inc.
Okay.
It's so good. It's not by him, but they talk about a lot of his reporting in depth, and it's just so good. So Trump, he looked into basically this January 2016 fundraiser that Trump held for, quote, veterans' causes.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is very vague.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like vitamins are people and they have a lot of different like healthcare, mental health. Like what do you
Just the causes. Just all of them.
all the causes.
You know, causes.
Yeah.
You know,
A chemistry occurs. A cause occurs.
A cause occurs.
So Trump publicly made a big deal at the time about the fact that he was skipping a televised Republican debate, many said because he was too scared to debate, in favor of this fundraiser that he would later boast had raised $6 million, including $1 million that he claimed to have personally donated. The money supposedly went into the Trump Foundation in order to then be doled out to various veterans' causes. But when Farenthold attempted to verify these claims, he found that even several months after the event, the Trump Foundation had yet to disperse a single penny to any cause, let alone any veterans-related charities.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So who knows if they raised $6 million? Who knows if he put in $1 million? He didn't.
Right.
there's no way to know.
There's no way to know. And none of it went there until a spotlight was shown on it. And then they were like, oh shit, well, I guess we better pay out.
Right.
Did they pay $6 million out?
I don't know. We'll get to it. So as a result of Farenthold's scoop, the New York Attorney General's office began investigating the fundraiser and the Trump Foundation in general. The Attorney General's investigation into the event had a slightly different focus, though. They were less concerned about whether the money for that particular event had been dispersed yet, and they were more interested in whether the event should have even been allowed to take place at all. It shouldn't.
Right. Spoiler alert.
Because New York law prohibits charities from supporting political candidates or campaigns, and Trump made a huge deal that he is doing this event instead of the debate.
Yep.
And he made it a political thing.
Yep.
And it shouldn't have happened during a campaign. So it was clear that the event had been a massive conflict of interest because Trump had literally handed the reins of his foundation that still has no staff to his political campaign staff to be like, political campaign staff, put on this event that supposedly my foundation is hosting. Because
He doesn't know the difference.
Staff.
He does not know the difference
No,
between any of this stuff.
no. But that's not an excuse. He's run a
No, of
course
he's
not.
run a foundation
Not at all.
since 1988.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yep. So New York State determined that Trump had, in fact, violated the conflict of interest law. As a result of this investigation, New York's Attorney General filed a lawsuit against Trump, his 3 eldest children, and the foundation, alleging a wide array of mismanagement of charitable funds. In a deposition related to the lawsuit, the Trump Organization's CFO, Alan Weisselberg, Weisselberg, who was supposedly on the foundation's board of directors, admitted that he had no idea that he had been officially listed as a board member for the past 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
They were like, okay, well, Alan Weisselberg, you're on the board, so like you
And he
should
was
fucking
like,
know better.
"What?"
You're a CFO.
Right.
And he was like, I had no idea I was a board member.
Oh, my
That
word.
must
Because
have
the
been
board
some-
doesn't exist.
Right.
Some oversight. The decisions being made in that office
Mm-hmm.
that
Can
he
you
wasn't
believe?
aware he should have been in for 15 years.
And although it would have been beneficial for Weisselberg to distance himself from the foundation because it got in hot water, this claim is actually very believable, as the Trump Foundation had not held a single board meeting since 1999.
I'm shocked they held one ever.
Well, it was probably when they put the 3 adult kids on the board.
Oh.
You know, it was like, okay, you guys are on the board now. And then they just never met again,
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
which is maybe the only thing worse than us with our quarterly meetings that we have once a year.
Whatever.
We're bad business bitches.
And we
We
pay
had a
our
good one a couple
taxes.
weeks ago.
We did have a good one. And we're due for one next year.
Once
So-
a year, we have our quarterly meeting.
Gets us off our own backs for the next 11 months.
We're working on scheduling.
We are. We are.
Are we the Trump Foundation?
Oh my God. You're both on the board.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
shit. Since when?
No.
So is Derek.
Well, there you go.
He never fucking shows up.
He's board vice
Shitty
president.
employee.
He's the Alan Weisselberg. of
He's
Wyoming.
Alan Weisselberg.
He is our scapegoat.
Yeah. So, as laid out in the lawsuit in New York State, rather than operating in any official capacity as a nonprofit, it had simply been used as a source of untaxed and largely donated money for Trump, probably with the help of his children, to do whatever he wanted with. And oh boy,
Did
some of the
he.
shit that he chose to spend that money on
Boy, howdy.
was bananas. Sloppy bananas.
That's a lot of bananas.
Sloppy bananas. How much could a banana possibly cost these days?
$10.
$10.
9.3 million. So there are honestly too many instances of flagrant misuse of the foundation's money to like get into all of them and again go to Trump Inc. But here are just a few little tastes, just like a few little examples. In 2007, the Trump Foundation paid $100,000 to a Florida-based charity called the Fisher House Foundation as part of an agreement to settle a lawsuit between Mar-a-Lago and the town of Palm Beach for violating building regulations.
Got it.
The
Great.
foundation is just paying for Mar-a-Lago's lawsuit
Legal
settlement.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a payoff. It was a bribe.
Cool.
It wasn't a bribe. It was settling a lawsuit.
Right.
That
Well,
that
yes,
he didn't
you're
want
right.
the
It wasn't
company to have
a-
to pay for.
Right.
It was a payoff.
Settling lawsuits on behalf of one's own company does not charitable giving make.
Make. No.
No.
It's like if you got in like a car accident that was your fault and you had to like pay for repairs and then
Right.
you tried to write that off on your taxes.
Right.
It's like that's not but that's just money that you owed.
Yeah.
Right. It's that times 100.
Right. 1,000. In 2012, the Trump Foundation paid $158,000 to a charity run by a golfer named Martin B. Greenberg. Greenberg had recently won a hole-in-one contest at Trump's Bedminster Golf Club, and after making the donation to Greenberg's charity, Trump refused to pay the golfer the advertised $1 million prize money for winning the contest.
You don't say.
So he was like, I don't want to pay him $1 million, which I said I would pay to
Right.
the winner of this contest that was fucking marketing for
Right.
my golf club. So I'm just going to pay him $158,000 instead of $1 million.
Sure.
That's the same.
Yeah.
So Greenberg sued, and again, in order to settle that lawsuit, Trump organized a charity auction for lifetime membership at his golf club.
Got it.
So he didn't want to pay for the settlement when he was sued for not paying someone money that he owed him.
Uh-huh.
So he organized a fake charity event to raise money from strangers
Yep.
to pay, again, his legal bills.
Yeah. No, you know what? It makes sense to me.
Uh-huh.
And the prize, the membership was also just goes to feed his own ego.
And it's a free thing for him to give out. He
Yeah.
doesn't lose anything.
Right. This man just doubles down whenever possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In 2013, the Trump Foundation donated $25,000 to a political organization named And Justice for All, whose main purpose was to fund the re-election campaign of Pam. I don't know if it's Bondi or Bondi, but I think it's Bondi.
James
Bondi.
Bondi.
I think it's Bondi, and then it's Bondi Beach in Australia. Okay. Pam Bondi, the Republican Attorney General of Florida, she just looks like a Fox News host, basically.
Blonde, big hair.
Just blonde, hot pink, Trump, rah, 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 who would go on to eventually endorse Trump for president.
Weird.
So the Trump charity paid $25,000 to a political organization. But when the Trump Foundation reported this donation on a 2013 tax return, it was incorrectly listed as going to a Kansas-based pro-life nonprofit called Justice for All, so that they
Because
wouldn't
then he wouldn't be taxed for it.
well, so that it wouldn't be caught as the foundation making a political donation.
Right.
So they were just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just drop the and.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
it's like it went to this abortion group and not.
And if they got caught, it was an innocent mistake.
Right. We just mixed it up.
Mhm.
That's too bad that
Because we have
it's
no
too
staff.
bad.
So ironically, some of the most absurd uses of Trump Foundation money actually seem to be the instances in which he actually did give some money to actual charities, albeit in unbelievably sleazy ways.
SaveTheNipples.com. Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.